Hey, welcome along to another video from the Daily Diaries. I'm Kristel and it is a joy to have you here for this garden-inspired, florally kind of video that we are doing today. So if you saw my last video, you would have seen this go down. I might actually pull it out right now. Let's do our lucky dip and see which palette I'm going to be talking about in the next video. This is so good. I need this for my whole life to make decisions because I'm so notoriously bad at it. All right, we have pulled out Garden Variety. Yes, because I am perpetually indecisive and needed to use a giant Walt Disney thermos to decide which palette to do next in a video. We are today doing the Garden Variety palette. Yay! Applause, applause. Okay, so take a little peek at this. The shades are gorgeous. They're very pastel. There are a couple of deeper mattes, of course, down the bottom. A lot of metallics in there, and it is a 15 pan palette. So if you would like to know more about this palette, let's kick it off with what the website is saying about it. So the Colourpop website is saying the fresh 15 pan eyeshadow palette is the perfect mix of vibrant pops of color and rich earth tones, featuring a range of finishes from matte and metallic, and our famous Super Shock shadow formulas create the most dimensional looks any time of year. So the palette itself retails for $20 USD, and you can get it obviously direct from the colourpop.com website. Also, if you were interested in perhaps getting a little bit more bang for your buck, it comes in a set. So you can pick up the Desert Days set that has the Garden Variety palette, and it is joined by the, what's the other one called? It's the one with like the cactus on it. Wild Nothings. Okay, so if you are interested in the Wild Nothing palette, you can get those as a kit for $36, which I was tempted to do, but I didn't really like the shades in the Desert Days palette are quite fair again, and there are a couple of cooler looking tones in there, so I decided to avoid that one and pick up some other ones instead. Alrighty, so let's get into this palette and see how we put this little makeup look together. And of course, at the end, I will be giving you my thoughts on whether or not it is worth picking up. Alrighty, let's do it. Okay, so we are ready to rock and roll with this Colourpop Garden Variety palette. I have grabbed myself some water because I do think that a lot of the shades in this palette, especially the soft metallics, are going to look much more vibrant if I wet my brush. So that is something that I will be doing. I have no plan. We're just gonna wing it and see what happens. Story of this channel in general. It's just winging it and seeing what happens. So to kick things off, I'm going to be starting with the shade Deserted, and I am literally just using a very old Sephora brush that I just found in my kit that I haven't used in like 10 years or more. So, you know, works fine, does the trick. Happy days. Now, this particular shade, Garden Variety, is quite an ashy, well, I mean, not ashy, more of a creamy tone, but on me at the moment, it is pulling quite ashy. So that is the top one in that corner there, Deserted. Okay. Next, I think I am going to grab some of this shade Prickly Peas. Prickly. Please, prickly, please. Nobody wants prickly peas. Which is this top corner shade here. It is that soft peach tone. And I just want to run that through my crease. Oh, that is nice. Let's just bring some warmth to the eye. Very soft transition shade. This is a lovely soft shade. So I am going in there and building it up a little bit more, but obviously because there is not a lot of depth to it, it's not going to get too much more intense, but it is a very lovely transition shade. Okay, next up, we are going to take the shade Over the Bloom, and I am going to take just a smaller dome shape brush through the crease. Just keep in mind that there is a lot of kickback with that shade. It's very powdery, so you will definitely need to tap off your brush. Just basically a deeper version of the Prickly Please shade that we just used. I have mentioned this before, but I will say it again. This brush was like, honestly, I'm fairly sure I got it from maybe Priceline. So a drugstore brush, and it cost me next to nothing, but I use it every day because of the shape and the size of the fluffy dome on it. It is perfect for me with my small hooded eyes. So yeah, you don't always have to have the most expensive brushes to get the look that you want. You just don't. Now, I do know that I want to be using the green in this palette today. I definitely know that. So that is on the list of things to do. And I think I might actually go in with that next. So that is the Best Buds shade. The green there. And just a reminder, that last shade I used was that one there. And you can see the kickback on it. So it is very powdery, but it doesn't bother me really. Goes on really nicely. So I'm happy with that. Okay, I am going to take a flatter brush. This one is just an old media makeup brush. Media makeup is where I did my makeup training. So I'm going to take that, and I have dipped it in some water, and I am going to put that now into that Best Buds shade, and I'm a little bit excited. There we go. I have gone in with a second layer because the first one didn't really pack a lot of punch there, but that's fine. That is fine. Yeah, that's looking really nice now. Just on the eyeball. I think actually if you don't drown the brush, if you just kind of, you know, have it damp, the shadow works much better with it. I wasn't actually planning on putting that over my entire lid, but that's where we are, and that's what has happened. So, okay, and next up, I think what I want to do is add some depth to my eye. Actually, first I'm just going to go back in with the Over the Bloom shade and just through my crease again, because I just want to blend out the kind of harsh line that the wet green shadow has left there. Purple or brown? That is a tough question. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go in with the shade Stuck on You, which is that deep purple right there. It's a matte. I'm going to use that to just add depth to the look. I feel like this shade is coming off a little bit patchy, but it might be because I have put it over that wet eyeshadow, the green color Best Buds. So I'm just going to give it the benefit of the doubt, but that is really not, that's really not blending out exactly how I would hope it might. So I'm just going to go back in there again. I definitely found that the Main Squeeze palette blended out better. The matte shades did. Although I didn't have any trouble with the first couple of shades I used in this palette, so maybe it's just this darker purple color. Purples are notoriously difficult to make a good formula with. They make it hard to blend a lot of the time. That's how I get eyeshadow off my face. Is that how you do it? Works a treat. Unless you have like a little like leaf blower or something handy, I feel like that would be quite good as well. Just borrow it from your hubby's shed or whatever. Grab your dad's. Like, what do you want the leaf blower for, honey? Well, Just want to use it to blow some eyeshadow off my face. Thanks, Dad. Okay, great. Okie dokie. That's building up. It's okay. I'm not blown away by it, but you know, it might well be because I have most recently been wearing the main squeeze palette. I've been absolutely smashing it. And that is one like super out there, vibrant, pigmented palette. So maybe I'm just scarred. Like any of the beautiful pastel shades just aren't really like necessarily cutting it for me right now. Okay, I've just had a revelation. I just decided, you know, because that green wasn't looking as vibrant as I wanted it to, that I would try something different. And instead of using a wet brush, I have literally dipped my finger in water and I am putting that into the pan and then pressing that onto my eye. And it is so much more vibrant this way. Wow, the difference is huge actually. So that might be something that you would like to try if you are not getting the results that you hoped you would be getting. I am going to, in the corner of my eye, I think I want to add some, it's a toss up between the shade Wavelength, which is the champagne metallic, or the Third Eye shade, which is kind of golden. I think we might go with Third Eye, the golden shade, because I mean, why not, right? I actually think I might do the same thing I did with the green shade. I'm going to dip my finger in water and then I'm going to pop that here in the corner. All right, that's a little bit of a mess right now, but we are going to clean that up. I'm just going to take that same old trusty Priceline brush that I've got there and blend that into the green shade a little bit. I also want to blend that up into the pink a little bit higher up there. Okay. It's nice. I like how that gold is transitioning into that lime green color. Yep, and finally, I think what I'm going to do is take the Super Shock Shadow in Sailor that I picked up with the other Colourpop products, and I just want to put that over the gold right in the very corner of my eyeballs. Over the top of that gold. All right, now something under the eye just to complete everything, draw all the top of the eyeshadows together. I am going to be using my Bullet makeup brush, which is an old media makeup brush as well. And under the eye, I am going to run the shade over the bloom, that one there. And then I'm also going to be using the one next to it, Don't Leaf. So let's get that on. I like that under the eye. I'm not sure if you can use the Colourpop matte shadows wet. I've actually not tried it myself or looked into it. So if you had a crack at it, let me know. I'd like to know how you prefer to wear your Colourpop eyeshadows. And if you have this particular palette, I'd also really like to know your thoughts on it. So now I'm just taking that Don't Leaf shade, and again, I'm just dampening my brush. Okay, I do have a fair bit of glittery fallout under my eyes, but it's actually not too bad, and I wasn't particularly careful, so I think you'd be fine if you actually do take a little care not to get glitter all over your face. I am going to grab some mascara, put some eyeliner on, and I will be right back to give you my thoughts on the palette. So this is the finished floral inspired look with the Garden Variety palette. I have just gone ahead and put on my Bobbi Brown Art Stick on my lips in a dusty pink. It is one of my all-time go-to favorite shades. I've also put some eyeliner on. I whacked on the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner that I used with the main squeeze palette as well. I love this shade, Jubilee. The pink is I know I'm gonna get so much wear out of this. Also, I used on top a Charlotte Tilbury purple shade eyeliner, which I don't have in front of me at the moment, and put on my Bare Minerals Blonzer in a Kiss of Rose, which is a really pretty shade. It's kind of a metallic finish, you can see there. And my go-to highlighter, Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. Oh, and of course, my favorite all-time mascara duo, the Opening Act from Tarte Lash Primer. It is so good. And I have teamed that with Lights Camera Lashes. Also, if you want to try out the Tarte mascara and the Opening Act primer, you can get the full-size primer with the mini Lights Camera Lashes mascara in one little pack. It's such a good way to get a hold of your lash primer. I love doing that because I use both of these products, so perfect. So that is what I have on my face. And now let's talk about the palette. Okay, so I will say that I have been smashing the Main Squeeze palette over the last few days, and I have been absolutely loving it sick. It is so intense, so vibrant, and I think maybe that was a little bit of an unfair way to come into testing the Garden Variety palette, because it itself is gorgeous. It is beautiful. The beautiful pastel shades are delightful. It does have a couple of really good deep mattes in there as well. I just didn't quite get as much vibrance as I was hoping for, particularly with the green metallic shade. I was really hoping that was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more intense, a little bit more vibrant than it actually is. The other thing I would say is that they definitely do get kickback. So when you tap into the eyeshadows, definitely just go easy because they are super, super powdery. That's fine. I enjoyed most of the formulas. I did have some issues with Stuck On You, this purple shade here, with blending that. It took me quite a while to blend that out. It had a little bit of patchiness to it, but we did get there in the end, and the overall look is really nice. So I do think it is a pretty palette. It is retailing for $20, you know, USD, which is a pretty reasonable price to pay for a 15 palette pan palette. 15 pan palette. So yeah, I do think that is a reasonable price to pay for it. It is a really nice, lovely palette. But if you are someone who prefers deeper shades, if you have a deeper skin tone, I would probably not go for this particular palette. But for fair ladies, I think you'll enjoy it. So yeah, that is what I think of this palette. I would love to know what you think and how you like to use it. Please leave your feedback down below. Now, we are going to do the same thing that we did to decide on this video, which was getting the old Walt Disney World thermos out. And in this thermos, there are the names of the Colourpop shadows that I have ordered recently and couldn't decide which ones to do first. So we are just whittling away the names in this container. So let's see which, that was a noise, wasn't it? It was like fingernails on a chalkboard. Sorry about that. So we're going to find out which one we are doing next, and it is going to be the It's All Good palette. That is the biggest Colourpop palette that I own. We are going to be doing that next right here on this channel. So if that is of interest to you, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you have enjoyed this video, which I really hope you have, I'd love to have you give it a little thumbs up or a big thumbs up, depending on how big your thumbs are. Take it easy. See you later. Bye.